Welcome to Christmas in July. Hello everyone, it's Sonia here, and today we're bringing the holiday cheer a little early. If you're like me, you love to look of high-end Christmas decor, but not always the price tag that comes with it. Pottery Barn and Kirklands have some stunning holiday pieces, but we've got some amazing look-alike dupes that will make your home just as festive without breaking the bank. In this video, I will be sharing some of the best dupes on my channel for popular Pottery Barn and Kirklands Christmas ornaments. You'll be amazed how similar they look and how much you'll save. From elegant glass bubbles to rustic wooden pieces, I've got you covered. Whether you're going for classic, modern, or cozy farmhouse vibes, there is something here for everyone. So grab a cup of cocoa, get comfy, and let's dive into the world of affordable holiday decor. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our festive finds. Let's get started with our first dupe. Merry Christmas in July, everyone. Here are the supplies that I had purchased. Some of the supplies I already had on hand. So this set of blue and silver ornaments came from Dollarama. They were $4 for the whole set. I will be only using the silver ones. I really wanted ones that had a bit of like dimension to them. And then I also picked up 2 sets of these, so 4 altogether. These are from Dollarama as well. Dollar Tree carries them as well. They're a little bit bigger. And then some other ornaments that I had picked had on hand were the flat ones that Dollar Tree sells. I got mine at Michael's last year on clearance. I think the whole box of them was like $7, but you can get them for $1.50 at Dollar Tree. So I'm starting off with the silver ornaments. I am outside. And I just filled this bottle with some water, and I'm spraying it well with water, and you want those driplets to be on there. And then immediately after, I'm going to take my spray paint. I am using dark walnut. You can use black. I thought I was using black, but it was dark walnut, and it turned out well. I don't mind the way they turned out at all. It did give me the look that I was going for. And then you let them dry, and that's it for the ornament. So you just want to give yourself some space from spray painting so you don't spray too heavy. And then I repeated the same step with the rest of the silver ornaments. I also spray painted the tops of these ornaments with the same walnut color. I love how antique they turned out. It just elevated that silver look that they were. And I love how the little droplets show up on it. And I put some on my tree with some fancy ribbon, and then I just added some to my bowl of ornaments. Next, still working outside, I took the tops of the clear ornaments and I spray painted them with this antique bronze color. This spray paint came from your dollar store and more. Sometimes they have like odd looking colors, not your primary colors, and they are significantly cheaper there. I think I picked this up for $4, and I've used this several times already. I'm just using very little just for these caps here. You can do this with paint, just regular paint. You don't have to do this at all. You can just leave them silver. Black looks good as well. Some people have luck with rub and buff. I don't, but I don't actually have rub and buff. I have the antiquing wax, so maybe that's the difference. And now I'm back with this dark walnut satin color, and I'm spray painting 2 of these with that spray paint. As you can see, I struggled a little bit, so I put them in this container so they would not flip. So probably a good piece of styrofoam would work better. I cannot stand the sound of styrofoam, so that did not work for me. So I gave this a solid coat. You don't want to spray too long on one area because it'll drip. So we are now back inside, and once they were completely dry, I took out my crafting sponge, dabbed on a little bit of gold, and then I dabbed some of it off, and then I just sponged the whole ornament with that. I am using spun gold. You can use any gold you have on hand. So once it was completely covered, well, to the way I wanted it to, I took another sponge, crafting sponge, and this metallic brown color, and it's almost again like that bronzish color. And I proceeded to do the same exact process as with the gold. And once I covered the whole area again, I let that dry, and then I did the exact same thing for the other ornament. I think these turned out absolutely stunning. I just love the way they look. And again, I added the ribbon to hang them on a tree. For my next clear ornaments, I have had this tissue on hand. It is just white tissue paper. You can use any color you want. I really did want just white. And I'm going to tear it up, and we're going back to basics of crafting, and we're going to do some paper macheing. And if my memory serves me right, I hope I mixed up my paper mache mixture right. I just added some water into the flour. Once I had my tissue ready and my solution ready, I went ahead and started paper macheing. And if you've never done this before, you just cover either an area or the whole thing, and then you add your paper, and then you put more paper mache solution on top of it, and then you want to let it completely dry before adding more to it. And depending on what kind of a coverage you want, you can do two steps, or you can do more steps. I only did two, and I am so pleased with the end result. For next two DIYs, I'm going to be using the flat ornaments. I call them flat. You will see them in just a second. And for the first two, I'm going to use this Annie Sloan Old Ochre chalk paint. You don't need to use chalk paint. This was the only beige looking paint I had. I was going to use acrylic, but I did not have any beige color, so the chalk paint to the rescue. And then I'm also going to use ice cappuccino as well as brush gold acrylic paint, and you will need some of those crafting brushes again that we just used in the previous DIY. And for the caps, I will be just painting them with some gold color at the end. So the first step is to take the beige color and paint the whole ornament with that beige color. So once the ornament is completely painted, you don't want to wait for it to dry before you move on to the next step. So the next step is going to be to take your sponge. Now you can wet these, I did not, and dab them into the ice cappuccino, and then dab some off and just dab it, sponge it on the ornament. And you want to blend as you're sponging on because your other paint is still wet. And then you're going to repeat the same process with the gold as well before anything dries, so that way you can blend all the colors well together. Wanted my ornament to be a little of a lighter color. If you want it darker, I would go a little bit heavier with a darker color. And then while it's still wet, you take your flour and you cover the whole ornament with flour and you let that dry. And while that was drying, I went ahead and painted the same way my other ornament, and you will see how two of them turned out just slightly different. And that's the best part about making your own ornaments. Not one is the same. So once it was dry, I took a clean brush, a bigger one, and just brushed everything, all the flour off. I like using the bristle brush for this. I think it works the best. So here is how that looks at this point, and now I'm going to put the cap on it and paint the cap. And here they both are on the tree. I think they turned out so nice. I just love the really different texture that they are and the look that they have. So for the last ornament that I'm going to be making, I'm using the same clear ornament, and I'm painting it with that ice cappuccino, the whole thing with it. And again, before you move on to the next step, you're not gonna let the paint dry. So for the next step, I'm going to take baking soda and I'm going to sprinkle it on, covering the whole ornament, and then you're gonna let that ornament dry. So once it dried, I brushed the baking soda off the same way as I did the flour, and then taking the same colors that I used for the previous ornament and just sponging them on. However, I'm obviously sponging on the beige color and the gold color and just blending them together. This is just to show you how using the same colors, what a different look it can give you. Just a couple different switching out a couple different steps and you get a completely different look, but still using the exact same colors, so that way you don't waste any colors that are left if you pour them into the bowl like I did. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed these DIYs. I absolutely love the way they all turned out, and they look amazing on my flock tree, which now consists of mostly DIY ornaments. If you guys do not know, I have a home channel where I share all my decorating that I do in my home, and the channel is linked down below for you to check out, and you can see how I showcase a lot of my DIYs that I make. So until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching. For most of the DIYs here, I will be using these clear ornaments from Dollar Tree. For this very first one, I will also be using black acrylic paint, gold acrylic paint, blue acrylic paint, as well as bronze acrylic paint. I will also be using some cinnamon as well as some baking soda to mix into the paint. To make the baking soda paint mixture, I will be adding 1 part baking soda to 2 parts paint. And then you want to mix that well before you paint. But before I start painting, I will be removing the tags off, as well as these little hanging ribbons or ropes, because for most of them I won't be adding any ribbon, but for I think one of them I am adding my own ribbon to them to hang them on a tree. But you can leave these, or you can add any ribbon that you want, or you just like me, you don't have to add, because I will be using them more of a table decor and shelf decor than rather on a tree. So once I have my paint mixture mixed well, and you want to mix really well so you don't have any clumps, I will proceed to painting all 3 ornaments first. Once I was done painting them, I let them dry completely before I move on to the next step. For the next step, I'm going to get my paints ready. I just add some onto the paper towel, and I'm adding all the other 3, the bronze, the gold, and the blue. And then I'm going to have each of them is going to have their own paintbrush, and I'm going to apply generous amounts of like just dabs of it, but generous dabs, and then I'm going to rub it in. I'm just using my hand to do so, and I just want to cover the area, in some areas heavier, in some areas lighter, so that way there's different shades of gold all around it. And then I proceed and repeat the same process with the bronze. Now once I start at the blue, I only do it in like 2 or 3 sections. I don't actually go through the whole ornament, because I'm trying to create that discolored look that some of the aged things have, like these ornaments, or even almost like the silverware when it kind of has the different shades of blue in them, because they're so old. So that's kind of a look I'm going for.
Come on in, come on up, come on over for the merriest time of year.
So as you can see, you want the blue to be blended in well, so it's just, you just catch a hint of it looking at it. Now I repeat the same process for all for the other 2 ornaments. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. My name is Sonia, and on this channel you will find tons of home decor DIYs as well as home reno DIYs. So I hope this is something that you enjoy watching, and you press that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, so that way you don't miss out any of my future uploads. And I would love to have you here as part of my YouTube family. For the last step for these ornaments, I'm going to make them not only smell good, but I'm going to add another layer of texture to them by adding some cinnamon. So I add a fairly generous amount of cinnamon sprinkle onto them, and then I take a paper towel and I rub it off. I do not wait for the paint to completely dry. It's not necessary, because you had blended the paint in so well that most of it is pretty dry, and this also will help some for when it's a little moist. It helps the cinnamon to stick. So I absolutely love the way these turned out. I think they're gonna look great on my tea card. You could also, like I said, add ribbon, hang them on a tree, or just add them into a bowl with some greenery. For my next DIY, I picked up these cone-shaped ornaments at Dollarama. I think they were around $3.50. So and I absolutely love the shape of them. I'm not sure what the name for the shape of an ornament it is. If you happen to know it, leave me a comment down below letting me know. I will just call them cone shaped, and I give them a spray paint. I spray paint them with white chalk paint. You want to have a lighter spray paint color if you're going to be spray painting, because of the next step. You want the next step to show, and the lighter the color, the more it's gonna show. So once they were all spray painted, I went outside and I picked up some dirt. Yep, dirt it is. So we're moving on from cinnamon and baking soda to dirt. My dirt was quite moist. That's how you want your dirt to be. Mine is moist because it was frozen and now it thawed out, so it was a little wet. You don't want full-on mud, but you want it pretty close. I do end up adding a little bit of water for my next one, just because I found that as wet as it wasn't wet enough. So you take the dirt and then you just rub it all over the ornament, making sure to get into all the little crevices.
Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain.
Once I was done rubbing it, I took a clean brush and just brushed off any excess dirt that I did not want on there. And then I proceeded on taking my gilding wax and adding some gold. This is called, I think it's called aged gold that I have. And I am just adding it into different spots of the ornament, rubbing it in with the paintbrush and my hand at the same time. And this will create another dimension, give it even a more of a rustic look. The key to the dirt and to this wax is to rub it in.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Christmas, we're gonna dance.
So I do love this look. I think it almost looks like it's old wood that was painted gold, or I don't even know, but they do gave me the wood look vibe. So I repeat the same process for all the other two ornaments. Now you can be done at this point, or I went ahead and just gave it just light couple sprays of white at different sections. This blended it even a little bit more, and I just love the way these end up looking on my tree. I did end up adding some ribbon to them to hang them up. For ornament number 3, I am going to be using some flower, some back to my white clear ornaments, and then I'm also using black acrylic paint. So I'm going to give these a coat of paint let them, I'm not going to let them dry before I add flour to it.
In the air, no more feeling lonely or in despair. We give out the presents, they keep coming back for more. No one should be sad or left alone.
So I am going to be sprinkling flour onto them, covering the whole ornament with it. And then I'm going to let it dry. I will repeat the same process for all the rest of them. Now I also want to mention that you don't have to paint these with black acrylic paint. You can do brown, you can do green, any acrylic paint that you want. Once they had dried, I take a clean brush and I just brush off all the excess flour that didn't stick off. And then I take the same gilding wax and do pretty much the same idea as the first DIY. I take the brush and then I just brush it on and rub it, swirl it, rub it in. I am mostly using the brush to rub it in, but I will use my fingers where necessary. How much gilding wax you put on, that is totally up to you. This is how I like mine to look. So I repeat the same process for the other two. So as you can see, they are similar to the first ones, but yet different because the texture is completely different. And I just love the way these look. For the number 4, I'm back to using the clear ornaments again, and I'm using a glass or a mirrored spray. And the inspiration that I saw said mirror, but I couldn't find mirrors, so I did buy glass, and it did work. I'm creating Mercury type ornaments, so I'm using that spray as well as a bronze and a gold spray, equal parts of water and vinegar spray, and then you'll need some hair dryer as well. So I do 3 sprays of this. I did learn that maybe my ornaments were a little too big just for 3, so I do end up doing about 5 sprays. Swirl it around, and then I spray some 1 or 2 sprays of vinegar and water, and just swirl it around a little bit more, and then I blow dry it. And I blow dry it until it's completely dry. Now, if you happen to have a ton of water in there, you do want to dump that out. but the swirling is absolutely necessary. As you can see, I go back in and spray some more of that mirrored because I just felt like I wasn't getting the look that I was looking for. But I think the 5 sprays was sufficient for the larger ornaments. So once you are done swirling it around, like I said, if you think you have a lot of water in there, you might want to dump that water out before you use your hairdryer to dry it all out. And you want to keep drying it until it's fully dried in there. And make sure if there is a little bit of water out there that you do not dump it into your hairdryer. Once that was dry, I give it a spray of bronze first, then I'm gonna do gold one for the second, and the third one I'm going to do the mixture of both. So you give, I think I gave about 3 generous sprays in there, and then I swirl it around again, and then I use the hair dryer again and dry it until it's dry. I am amazed at how these turned out and how that whole mirrored spray works. So like I said, for the next one I do exactly the same thing, but for my spray paint I am using gold, and then for the last one I will be using the combination of both of them. I think these look so good. They 100% look like they came from a unique high-end store. Now for the little ends of the ornaments, I did take them all and I just sprayed them with my bronze spray paint. You can use any spray paint you want to paint them. I just thought the bronze probably would be the best choice for the ones, the colors that I have chosen to go with. And I want to also mention that for all of these DIYs that I'm using the spray paint color, the metallics do work better than, let's say, a solid paint color. Although I will be using a solid spray paint in the next one. So this one was almost a bonus DIY because I had one ornament left over, and I just wanted to show you a different way that you can make the same Mercury glass type of ornament. It does end up turning a little different, but it's very similar. So I fill up a tray with water, then I do give spray of the glass spray, and then the bronze and the gold, but I'm also adding a walnut brown color because I just felt like it needed another color in there. Now I'm going to take that ornament and swirl it around. How much spray paint you actually spray in there depends on how well you want this covered. I did end up adding a little bit more paint because I did feel that I didn't have enough, so keep that in mind. So probably a bit more is better than less. And I think this ornament turned out very similar to the other ones, but I think the whole process was a little bit easier. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed these DIYs. I certainly enjoyed making them. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you have enjoyed this video, and let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.
But you, these are the good times with you, baby. This year
for my next DIY, I will be using black and bronze chalk paint, as well as these small little ornaments. I have seen these at Dollar Tree and at Dollarama, and I'm also going to be using some jute rope, or you can use twine. Now my ornaments did come from Dollar Tree, but like I said, I've seen them at any dollar store. And then I was going to use some sanding block too, but at the end I never ended up using it. So the first thing that I am doing is giving it a coat of a bronze spray paint, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the black spray paint to it as well, but not covering it fully. I am covering it more with the bronze, and then I'm just going to do little sprays of black on them. I wanted to create more of that aged look on them. I am really liking the rustic color, less rustic ornaments this year to go with some of the black accents that I will be using in my Christmas decor. So now I'm going to use that twine and cut it up to the length that I need it to be. I am going to be putting this on my large fireplace upstairs, so I wanted to make sure that it fits. So if you are doing this DIY yourself, you might want to measure out where you want this to go and cut the twine to that size. And then I'm taking more twine and cutting it into smaller pieces, about 2 inches. I'm going to use that to tie the ornaments to the other twine. Now I'm creating a loop at the end so that way I can hang this up, and I will be doing this on both ends of this rope. And I'm going to trim the piece hanging over from the loop. And then once I have my loops all set up, I'm going to start by adding the ornaments, and I'm tying the rope to the ornament, and then I'm tying the ornament to the rope. And I repeat this for all the ornaments, spacing them out somewhat evenly. You will be able to move them around once they are on the rope anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you space them out evenly right now. You can always adjust them later. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. My name is Sonia, and on this channel you will find tons of home decor DIYs, from seasonal to DIY projects around the house, as well as just a general DIY decor. So if this is something that you think you might enjoy and you are enjoying this video, I would encourage you to press the subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos. I am starting my Christmas decor DIYs now, and I already posted a mega one. If you've missed it, it will be linked at the end, so go check that one out. That one will give you a ton of inspirations for your DIY decor. I just love the way this garland turned out, and I think it's going to look so good with my brand new cedar garland that I had just purchased at home. So I wanted to include this little quick DIY. I have a ton of these clear ornaments. These are from Michael's, but you can get them at Dollar Tree as well. And I just wanted to share with you a very quick DIY. I had these mini pine cones. Some are frosted and some aren't, and I just filled it up with them, and I just love the way this turned out. It's such an easy DIY, and these ornaments sell from, I've seen some at Canadian Tire for upwards of $5-6, and then there's a lot more expensive ones at Pottery Barn with similar. You can fill these up with berries, like I said, pine cones, or even just some of that cedar you can stick in there. The possibilities are endless. And to dress it up even more, I would recommend painting the little cap or adding some rough and buff to it, or a glaze, or anything that you have. I have antiquing glaze. I think that's what it's called, yes, from Annie Sloan. So I use that as well, just to elevate the look of the ornament. You can also take it out and spray paint it. And then to go one step further, you can add some ribbon to it as well to hang it up. Going from something that costs under $1 to a very high-end look. Moving on to another ornament project, I did pick these up at your dollar store with more. I just loved the design on them. I didn't love all the glitter that they had. But I just want to say, when you come across ornaments that you don't like the color, it is the easiest way to solve that problem. You can use spray paint. I've seen stone spray paint and spray paint used together, which gives a really nice texture to an ornament. To antiquing glaze, to waxes, to flower, all sorts of different stuff. Like I said, I have a whole video dedicated to many ways you can upcycle an ornament that I did last year, but I wanted to just show you how easy it is to add this the color of your decor style to this specific ornament. I had champagne colored ornaments. I think this would be a rose gold colored ornaments a couple years back, but I'm kind of done with them. I'm more into earthy tones, the darker colors. So, but like I said, I loved the design of this one. So I took a sanding block, and I sanded off as much glitter as I possibly could. I could not get it all off, but the majority of it I did get off. And once I was done doing that, I proceeded with painting them with first color and then the second color, which I will show you in just a second. So before you start painting them, take some either skewer sticks or any dowels, longer dowels that you have, and put them through the hole where the little end piece goes. You can even go another step and duct tape them, or use masking tape or painter's tape to tape them together, so that way it doesn't turn on you. I have had this shimmery gold color that I wanted to use, so I wanted to give it a try. I did just buy it. It was a brand that I've never used before, and it had come from your dollar store with more. It wasn't sticking to the surface as well as I would have liked to. I could have added Mod Podge to it first, probably would have been a little bit easier, but I wasn't looking for full coverage, so I was okay with it not covering it 100%. And then the last thing that I did, I took the little ends and I just added some gold glaze to them using a brush and the little the glaze from Annie Sloan that I have. And I think this turned out really nice. I'm using mine in a bowl, but you can again hang them up, and don't forget to use some ribbon or some twine to elevate the look. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed these DIYs. I hope you got tons of inspiration. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not. Don't forget to hit the like button if you had enjoyed these DIYs, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. For my next DIY, I picked up these bells. Now, to me, these bells looked fairly new. I have not seen them around here anywhere, but I've seen them online at Walmart, so I'm not sure whether that's where these guys came from. And I just wanted to give them a little bit of a gold color, since that was all the bells in my house were kind of a goldish color. So I tried painting them just with the paint, acrylic paint, and I use spun gold for this. But I did find that the coverage wasn't quite what I was hoping for. So I put one coat of this, just a light coat of just paint on its own, and then for the second coat, once they had time to dry, I added a little bit of baking soda to my paint and painted them with that gave it a little bit of texture, but I was still leaving some of that dark bronze to kind of look poke through in certain areas. So for the other two, I just went directly with a thicker paint. I just felt that worked a little bit better, and there wasn't need to do two coats. Once they were dry, to add them to my banister, I just used some twine and tied it up. For my next DIY, I'm using these little hooks because I'm going to be attaching them to these things, and this is a foot. I assume it's a furniture foot. It was an odd piece at a thrift store, so I decided to turn it into an ornament, kind of like a finial ornament. I love these. I've seen them at Walmart. I think my Texas house has maybe a little bit bigger ones, but or my Texas home. I really like this. You could also use spindles. If you have spindles on hand, you can sand them down or paint them and hang them up. Use them as ornaments as well. I think that would work out well too. So I just I really liked the natural color, so I did not touch it. You could obviously stain it, paint it, or do whatever you want. Because my front tree in my house, and if you had missed my home tour or any of my decorating videos over on my home channel, make sure you check them out. The link to my home channel is in the description box. But I liked using I like the fact that it was natural wood, because that's the kind of the direction that I want that tree at the front to go, a more of a rustic natural look. So I've been slowly switching out ornaments on there. It's a 9-foot tree, so it is a pretty expensive thing to do, to switch out all the ornaments. So I've been doing it slowly, making some and things like that. So I think this ornament's gonna look really good there. So there was a hole there, so I put through the rope. Originally I was thinking of using the S-hook, but I've decided this might be a little bit of an easier way. So I put a little bit of glue into the hole, and then I made a loop, tied a loop with a rope, and then I pushed the one end of the loop in there, and then I glued it, and then I put some wood glue, threaded it through the little dowel on top, or whatever that's called, and then I put a little bit more hot glue just to hold it in place while the wood glue takes time to cure. You don't want to obviously hang this up right away. You want to let it sit and wait, and that's it. I love the way this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching.